A will is a document that's prepared in accordance with certain statutory requirements that basically says where someone wants their assets to go after they die. It's that simple. Many people think that a will avoids probate. Actually, that's 180 degrees wrong. A will guarantees probate in 100% of the cases, assuming that the assets are over a certain amount. A will, the only difference between dying with a will or without a will is that without a will, the state has a statutory section which says where your assets go, to which family members and in what percentage. And if you do a will, you have the option of modifying that to a certain extent. But both cases would still require a probate if the assets exceed $100,000 under the current law. A trust is a completely different approach to a person doing planning for their family. A trust is basically a contract between the person creating the trust and the person who administers the trust and the people who are supposed to benefit as a result of that trust. A trust is under a different set of laws in all of the states than wills are. A trust is a technique that's used in order to privately plan how a family wants to dispose of their assets. A trust is not a public record, is not a matter of public record, as is a will. For example, when you pass away, there's a statutory requirement that that will has to be filed with the county that you live within a reasonable period of time, and it's a public record. So anybody that wants to see your will or my will can go down to the to the county building and get a copy of our will and look it over. A trust is a private contract, and as such, it's not open for public inspection. The other main issue is that a will is a document that only comes into legal effect once a person dies, which means if there are issues during your lifetime that have to be dealt with, they're not dealt with in a will. So if you have concerns about possibly becoming disabled or one of your family members being disabled, and you have to provide for yourself or other family members while you're alive, a will has no effect. So the only way to make sure that a family can take care of matters while they're alive and well, if they're alive but become disabled, and when they pass away, is by using a trust-based plan. If you use a will, you can still dispose of your assets to who you want them to go to. However, it usually requires that that go through a process called probate. But nothing happens in terms of the provisions of the will until after the person passes away. In a trust, I can provide for myself while I'm alive and well and handling the trust myself. I can provide provisions that say how I'm going to be taken care of if I become disabled. And by the way, take care of my spouse and take care of my children and take care of my grandchildren or whatever I want to do. I want to make certain charitable gifts, whether it's during my lifetime or after I pass away. And in general, the trust gives you a lot more flexibility. There is more work in designing a trust. It is marginally more expensive than just doing a will-based plan, depending on the situation. But in general, a trust will take care of a lot more situations than will a will.